That's a left-handed brofist coming at you strong today on this fine Friday, where I spend my time. We don't stream on a Friday. We don't stream other games, although we have streamed one superb game. I did put a video out on YouTube about it, just to make people aware of how goddamn good it was. Creepy, heavy, left us all feeling really sad, but goddamn what a game it was. If you didn't see that video, because of YouTube algorithms, I can say that word, algorithms, it often doesn't show you non-WoW content on my channel. I know, it goes, they're not going to watch non-WoW stuff, it doesn't even show it you. I know, it's a pain in the ass. But if you did miss it, Stories Untold, $2. It's $2. It's a couple of bucks. What an experience it is. I would recommend it. And of course, Observation, where we played as HAL 9000. It was a very weird and interesting experience to go on. But that's not all. You might see down below, you see I have this little announcement box, which is where my camera's not lined up properly, and yet nobody has mentioned it yet, so I'm pretty happy about that. You'll see there that the world first race is indeed coming up very, very soon. We actually thought that the new patch, the patch 8.2 for World of Warcraft, would appear next week. Next week, yes, indeed, next week. But it's looking like it's going to be the week after. It looks like it's going to be the week after. Now, you'll probably also note, for many of you, that it lines up really badly with PreachCon. Potentially lines up really badly with PreachCon, because I will be casting the World First Race. I have agreed to do it. I will be there from the start. It will be awesome, but it will probably lead to some stream disruption, depending on when I'm casting. But it looks like I'll be able to stream from the World First Race in some form or another, but no promises. These things change all the time. It depends. Will I have to do, cover someone else? Somebody might get sick. A lot of people get sick at these things because everyone's coming together with their diseases and illnesses and spreading them amongst the crowd. So whatever happens there, I'll keep everybody up to date and keep everything good. And hopefully we'll be able to actually raid properly this time. So I don't lose the entire tier of raiding again. We don't want that to happen whatsoever, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really hyped for it to do. Sound shouldn't be out of sync. That comes through the same cable. I don't know what to tell you, my dudes. Hopefully it's fine. Hopefully we can get by it. So that's one thing that's coming up. And also, for those of you who are coming to PreachCon, I'm going to be sending out a thing that we might want to do. We need like 30 odd people to do it, but we have got a lot of people coming who are already interested in something. So just pay attention to your inboxes, sirs, and I might have something for you. But that's not why you're here right now. No, it's not. You're here to hear the horrible and woeful tales of people playing World of Warcraft. And I have an adventure to take us on today. An absolute adventure to take you on today. An absolute adventure. So we're going to do that. But first of all, let's remind people, because of this phrase, which is something a lot of people have never encountered in their time playing World of Warcraft. For those of you who joined in Kata, probably, in Kata, or sort of late Wrath of the Lich King, you have never, ever had the experience of being blacklisted. And blacklisting was a very big thing a long time ago, and it is going to be making its return. And the blacklist is because you could not play with people on different servers. You couldn't just hop around between phases. Your actions in World of Warcraft mattered quite considerably. It's one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to with Classic. Not really the gameplay or anything like that, but that aspect of having a community that knows each other and interacts in some interesting ways is exactly what I'm looking forward to. I don't think we need names for this one. We'll save the names for the adventure. I think we're good. So let me give you an example of the blacklist and how the blacklist worked. Mr. Preacher, I want to share with you this because I thought it was funny AF. AF is in caps. It was from a long time ago. 2005. And I was 13 years old. And I account shared with my 12-year-old brother. So already we're in good shape. We're in absolutely solid shape. We've got a 13-year-old and a 12-year-old account sharing. Great success. Nothing can go wrong. We've been playing WoW pretty hardcore, mate. 5 to 7 hours a day between us. Those are rookie numbers, buddy. In vanilla, you got to pump those numbers up, son. You're never going to get anywhere. We leveled from 1 to 57 in about 6 to 7 weeks. We started playing WoW about 2 to 3 months after it launched in Europe. We were leveling our level 57 Undead Arms Warrior when we saw an advertisement for a 15-man raid to... My chat should know the answer to this. UBRS. Yes, indeed. We're going to raid UBRS. That's going to be the plan. Yeah, indeed. UBRS, 15-man raid, which apparently will not exist in this version of Classic, which really upset me quite a bit. It's apparently the patch after they stopped you being able to raid that content. Interesting. We had never heard of UBRS, but we wanted to experience a raid. A raid of many people, and a raid of people high level. So we joined. No questions asked. We were just filler DPS. They had all the things I'm aware of now, such as the key to get in. God forbid the amount of people who will join a UBRS run and nobody will have the key. We got summoned even. Entered Blackrock Spire and got started. The run went pretty smoothly. I have no idea what our damage was like, but they didn't kick me, so I assume it couldn't have been too bad. We killed Rend Blackhand on the second attempt, and we blasted through the rest of the instance. We were definitely being carried by the 4 or 5 people who had purple items. And then we reached General Dracasath. Now, I want to take a note here. I can't look up the names of the items, but if you played back then, you should probably know what I'm talking about. So there's a little cue for you here. A little cue for you. Let me swap my page and see if it fixes this thing. One sec. Whoosh. Let me go to here. Whoosh. And then back again. Whoosh. So that might fix it for you. We wiped on Dracasath 3 or 4 times. Does anybody really remember the strategy for Dracasath of what people used to do? Kind of funny. Involved 2 hunters, ideally. 2 hunters, ideally, if you could do that. People were being switched in and out, but they still kept me in the group. At this point, nothing in the entire instance that dropped, other than greens from trash, had been something good for me. I felt very, very angry that I had been here all this time and hadn't been given an item. But when we killed Dracasath, 3 items dropped. Dracasath's shield, a ring, and a plate chest. I think it was the Chest of Valor, but it may have been the Paladin chest. I don't know. The loot had been set to group loot with all the swapping around. And so the raid leader was spamming everybody to pass. Slowly but surely, people start clicking pass. But me and my brother sat next to me. We waited. At this point, I need to mention that my brother and I were fully aware of what a ninja was and what they did. And we had never ninja'd anything up until this point. Everyone passed. But we could use all these items. And they were just on our screen as if they were already ours, just looking at us. We convinced each other it was for the best. And the temptation got the better of us. And we needed on all 3 of the things. I looked in my bags, and in one UBRS run I had gotten a chest, a shield, and a ring. We were so happy. We couldn't believe it. However, the entire group was going berserk. The name calling started, then some of them started to threaten to kill us in real life. We said nothing. We didn't know what to say. We were starting to panic. We couldn't give them back. We started to panic, so we just decided that the best bet was to Hearthstone and leave the raid. Once we arrived in Orgrimmar, we thought that would be the end of it as no one was around. But only about 10 seconds later, our character names started to be broadcast all over World Chat, Trade Chat, LFG. The angry raid members were going to make sure that everyone knew that we were ninjas. We started getting whispers from people who weren't even in the raid. Most of them simply said ninja. Other messages weren't as kind. Those whispers continued. In a panic, we decided to log off and go to bed. 13 and a 12-year-old. When I woke up, it was obviously time to play some more World of Warcraft before school. When I logged in, I got more whispers. Some people had even taken the time to send us in-game letters calling our characters ninja cunts. But after 2 days, after just 2 days, the whispers stopped. No more letters in the mailbox. And we hit level 60. I felt like it was the biggest achievement of our little lives. The sheer effort of getting this ugly look... You fucking dare. Male and dead? Shut up. Male of this ugly looking character all the way to level 60. It just felt amazing. We couldn't wait. It was time to gear him up. It was time to raid. First thing we see is a Sholomance run being advertised in trade chat. So I sent that boy a whisper. And I got invited. I was in the group for 15 seconds before I suddenly was removed. Why? Why? Ninja was the only reply I got. We tried 3 more groups. Some didn't invite us. Some did, and then we were shortly kicked after. I even decided I would start my own groups. But as soon as I broadcast I was looking for more for a dungeon, I would be spammed with ninja. Every single time. This never, ever changed. My brother and I had spent 2 months leveling a character all the way to 60 to ruin our reputation before we even capped. We were never trusted by anyone on that server, Ajol Narub, ever again. We were stuck with nothing to do and not possible to play with anyone else. We did the only thing we could. What was it? What was the only thing they could do? You're a solo ninja in classic World of Warcraft. You can't possibly go to another server. You can't. It took you 2 months to level here. Yes, some of you called it because maybe you've been there yourselves. Into Alterac Valley we went. And we stayed there for the remaining classic experience. Chasing down our unstoppable force and immovable object. We got exalted with the Frostwolf clan. But we were still, even then after all that time, considered a ninja if we ever tried to join a group outside of PvP. We then looked at our warrior with his epic items and made the only decision we could. We had to re-roll on a different server and make a human rogue. And I swear to you, from this day forward, we never ninja'd anything ever again. It was a very hard lesson for a 12 and a 13-year-old, but we learned, and we learned the hard way. I can't wait to go back home when WoW Classic comes out. Pussy. Weak? Oh no, man. Oh no. The strange thing is, in BFA, you would have been fine. You would have been fine. It wouldn't have been an issue at all. It wouldn't have been an issue at all. You could have lived your life. Oh, it's not weak. How can you call it weak? How can you call it weak? How can you call it weak? Am I going to spell this right? The Asian persuasion. Okay. I'm trusting you guys here. I'm trusting you guys. Right, okay. This is a fucking adventure. This is an adventure. Right, we need Greg. I think we have to put Zoe in. We need a Greek raid leader. Let's go with Lonkus. A Duchy. Oh, we have a Matthias here. Go with a Matthias. Matthias. We need a victim. We need a victim. Later. Okay, we need a loser. Let's go with Paul. Okay. We have all our faces for this adventure. We've got Greg, we've got Zoe, we've got Lonkus, we've got Matthias, we've got Leda, and we have Paul. All right. I'm a loser. I'm a loser. I want to be a victim. Okay. All right. We're going on a journey here, ladies and gentlemen. We are going on a journey. It won't go where you think it's going to go. Let me put it that way. Hello, Preacher, and you wonderful people in the chat. That's you guys. That's you wonderful people here who support this channel every week on a Friday. Welcome, all of you. I need a drink for this. I'm your average WoW player. I'm your average WoW player from the flatland known as That Holland. I started playing World of Warcraft just after the release of patch 2.1, and I've been active ever since with a small break here and there. Ever since I saw your video, The Problem in the Mists, on YouTube, it struck a chord in me, and I started following your videos. I would level, farm, or just mess around in WoW with your videos and streams on my other screen. I would watch hours of drama time and rewatch the great stories that made me giggle and other stories that hit me in the feels. After watching the epic edition drama time of Brojo for the 100th time, I felt it was time to share with you and the chat my tale. This drama will span over years and expansions. Writing this, it clearly shows how utterly fucking stupid I was back then. Weren't we all? Weren't we all? Weren't we all? And I trust that I'm a very different person to this day. As this story spans over the majority of my WoW life, it's only fair to start at the beginning. I was 18 when I applied for a job in Rotterdam, since I quit my last job when the owner, who was super cool, got a different job and left a complete fucknugget in charge. +1 for fucknugget and living in Holland. I like that. I initially applied for a job as a music/game salesman. It sounded BIS. I was 100% sure that I would be the king of selling video games, and I would sell games more often than music. I turned out to be wrong. During my interview, I was only questioned about music knowledge. Not once did they bring up video games. And I fell flat on my face. However, the interviewer had another job opening at the same supermarket at the delivery counter, which basically means that when people would buy big-ass heavy TVs in the shop, they would have to walk over to our delivery counter to pick it up. That sounds fun, doesn't it? Wow, that sounds like a really fun job. Fuck my life, dude. Just pay me so I can go home. And I could start doing this job the next day. Joy. Absolute joy. I was, of course, disappointed when I didn't get the job I was obviously underqualified for, but happy to accept the open position as I needed swag cash for being the poor student that I was. Working in Argos has to suck, doesn't it? Well, I don't think Argos exists outside the UK, but God, that job's got to fucking suck. It has to fucking suck. It's got to. It was there, at this new job, that I would meet Greg. He was just a few years older than I was. He was a friendly and smart guy. During the time he worked me in, he mentioned a game he was playing and was eager to get me playing as well. During this time, though, I thought he was an idiot because I had been playing Morrowind 24/7, and I felt no need to play another dumb game, certainly not one where I needed a fucking credit card. This had to be some sort of money-grabbing pyramid scheme, I thought. Greg would go on and on about how you played with hundreds of people at the same time. Sure. Grouping up to kill monsters and dragons. How you could turn into a bear or a cat or a giant owl shooting laser beams. This all sounded very cool to me, but not enough to get me to try, and certainly not enough to give people my credit card. Weeks passed, and when it turned out that over half of the staff at the department played this game, I felt peer pressured. I felt peer pressured to at least give it a try. The problem was, it's all everyone would fucking talk about at work. And I was the only one who couldn't really join in. Yeah. I found out that I didn't need a credit card. I could buy game time. on cards, and that made my decision easier so that I couldn't be scammed. After a Friday night shift, I asked Greg if he would send me that invite. That night, I downloaded the game, and at 1 in the morning, I started.